My name is Michael Couchet, and this is Mic Check, a show where I find out what I'm interested in, people, places. Mainly it's going to be football, and I dig deep down in what I really like. Today, on our first episode, I have the one and only Omari Fraser.
Thank you. How you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
Good. I appreciate having me as the first guest. Feel honored on the Mike Check show. This is definitely a great fit for you. Like once you told me the name, like yeah, that's a fit. That's a fit.
Thank you.
Perfect fit.
That's what happens at work. I sit around, do nothing. I'm like, I got it. Alrighty. So, Omari, for the Alberta football fans, they already know who you are from your podcast.
Yeah.
But the people that don't know, tell them a little bit about yourself.
A little about myself. How should I start? I guess born in England, moved over to Canada when I was 3, so I can say born there, raised here.
British boy.
Yeah. Played a different kind of football.
Oh yeah.
But no, it's fun. I know it's been fun. I grew up here and everything. Started playing football around grade 9. Grade 9 with the community team, Calgary Cowboys, and then played my time with them, Bantam, Spring League, Midget League, and then funny enough, my story is a little different where I never actually played high school because the high school I went to, FFCA, which is a charter school just here in Calgary, they didn't have a football team.
Yep.
Football team, so that's now where I just stuck to playing community ball, and then as I was in my grade 12 year, that's why I found I could play junior. So this is now where I applied to play for the Colts. I already had my grade 11 film from spring, so I'll play with that.
Okay.
Made the team, made the Colts team and everything, which I was pretty stoked about. And then had my 5-year journey with the Colts. That's where we met my first year and everything. And I think that was a pretty cool experience for me because it was just a good place for me to really, I was really gun ho about football at the time. I was like, I have all these big goals and everything, and then it was a good place for me to go to work.
Oh yeah.
Go to work, put in the work, go to the workouts, scout team in the beginning, all that stuff that you do just to like work through the progress. And I always think that those 5 years of like committing yourself to a program, university, junior, whatever it is, it's just so impactful because like the life lessons, the friends, all that stuff I got to learn and enjoy in those 5 years.
Yeah.
It's something that I take with me now. So football's definitely been a big part of that, but
connections you build from it.
Yeah, it's permanent. I think that's kind of where I think I won in terms of like football. Like I didn't win any MVPs or nothing like that, but I think I definitely feel quite fortunate to leave. I guess the competitive, not just like competitive side, but like the competitive early young man side of football with a lot of connections. So that's kind of one thing I thoroughly enjoy.
Correct.
Thoroughly enjoy, and I'm grateful for.
Awesome. Omari Fraser, everyone. All right. Before we get into the first question, got to put on my reading glasses. All right. Good. I think we're good.
I love it. I love it.
All right. We're going to start off with a tough one.
Yeah.
All right. Omari. What's 2 + 2?
I got to think through all the CTE here. No, I'm joking. 4.
God damn, what a genius. All right. Let's go a little easy now.
Yeah.
All right. Safe to say passionate about football.
Mm-hmm.
So where was the source of this passion?
The source of this passion, it's football kind of got started for me when a good friend of mine, back when we were growing, like I'm trying to remember what grade this was. I forget what grade it was. I forget. I forget the grade, but I know the age. I was living in this house in Tuscany, and I got to meet a friend of mine. His name's Robert Woodson, and then I guess one of the things we got to hang out in the park and everything.
NFL player?
No, he played CFL.
Oh yeah, him.
Yeah, he plays CFL, and then I guess just got to know his family and everything. And his dad, Tony Woodson, who played in the NFL.
Yep.
He was actually the coach of the Calgary Cowboys at the time, the Pee Wee team.
Yep.
And I think it goes over their house. We were playing Halo. Who doesn't love Halo? Halo was like a thing that's like bonded all of us like community kids of like playing Halo at each other's houses. And his dad was like, "Hey, you got a good size and everything. You should come play."
Yeah.
And I think it started out to where got to go to his camps and everything. And then, funny enough, like this is kind of like a nice like interjection of like, I was starting to get into football and like get inspired and everything. My parents, particularly my mom, she wasn't too fond
Oh,
of
yeah,
this of the
like most
sport.
mothers.
Wasn't too fond of the sport. Scared me away a bit, and like kind of missed my Pee Wee year because of that. Because I let that get to my head. So that was one thing now where missed opportunity to play in those Pee Wee years.
Oh, yeah.
But
You're not missing much.
fortunate to Tony, he kept on me and like still remain friends with his son Rob and his older son Anthony now, and kept on me. And then like I was like, okay, I'm going to play bantam. I'm like got over this fear of my mom saying
Oh, yeah.
whatever she was saying, like
You're gonna
get hurt and all this. I'll say it was. I'll just leave it as that, but it was just to get that. And then once I got to have a taste of like trying out, being with a team, always improving and everything, that's what's kind of really built the passion and like seeing how I was just growing into the sport. And
Okay.
I think just I was just one that really really just attached myself and helped being like I guess physically able to do the sport as well. I was like, man, it's something where I feel like I could go far. And I think as a young kid, I always think like, oh, like play pro.
Oh, yeah.
Now
Like most
looking
kids.
now looking back, I'm like, okay, like that's a young man's passion, young kid's passion. But looking back at it, I was able to get portion of my education paid for through scholarships.
Oh, yeah, it was perfect.
Got to play, got to meet friends and everything. So this is now where I really got to see football from like using it as a tool to help me get
That's
where I
fine.
am now. So I
Yeah, most people don't do that.
yeah, they
It's
don't.
like called tunnel vision.
Yeah,
Football. That's all I care about.
yeah. And I don't not to say I had those
Yeah.
moments too, like being 18, 19, like I was all football.
Yeah.
Especially where I think a question I know is coming up, but I won't dive into it yet. But I was so gun ho in football where I was like, I just need to like get out of my system of just doing
Yeah.
football. And I did, and I felt good to get doing that, and then I was able to like allow other aspects of my life to come in.
Okay.
So that's kind of where it's been a built up passion, but I would definitely owe, and I'm sure a lot of kids too, because I know he was a quite impactful football coach, Tony Woodson, to I guess igniting the football passion, letting it grow and everything. And funny enough, he actually just beat me in fantasy. Like we're in a fantasy league.
Way to go!
Absolutely, he has Josh Allen who put up like 100 points in our league. So
Yeah.
I he just still likes to remind us like still a football OG. So it's fun to keep on with that.
Oh, yeah. So with that passion growing when you were a kid, of course, everyone has their own favorite star. What was yours?
Eric Dickerson.
Ooh.
At the time when I was like learning and watching football and like just trying to gather as much information as I could, especially when I was like older, that bantam time, I was watching a lot of NFL throwbacks.
Yeah. Did you ever put like the goggles on and the
Well, yeah, because
cowboy collar?
yeah, because since I my glass since I wear glasses, I wear my glasses actually playing.
Yeah.
Which was one thing where like playing glasses while playing when you're like 13, 14, like not really ideal, but
Oh, yeah.
we do it anyways. And then my mom got me these like goggles when I was like, like the goggle version where you see my lens in a goggle. And so I did with that, and like eventually I just learned to either play without my goggles or glasses. Goggles, probably they should be called goggles
Yeah.
for what they were. And I got contacts, and that was a lifesaver.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it was just pretty cool because I was like, it was just one of those things where too I liked how Eric Dickerson was a player who could literally score any point. Like I remember like the NFL clips I would see where he was just running 80 yards, like 80-yard, 90-yard touchdowns, 70-yard touchdowns. Like he was just like a long streaker, a long strider, just gone.
Yeah. And
like hit a lane and gone.
The record too.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I think that's one thing where I like that because I think that was kind of like my play style back then was where I don't being bantam, I could take a toss and go for a touchdown and everything. Yeah. So there was those moments where I was like, man, I really like his game, my game, and
well, since Eric Dickerson was your favorite player, you were number 5, but he was I think 29.
29, yeah.
Yeah. Where is the
correlation there? So the correlation there when it comes to like the numbers. So with the reason why we're I guess 5 now. The reason why we're the number 5 now, I guess in AFL is just because like of Jabril Peppers.
Okay.
When he was at Michigan,
yeah.
I really liked how he was a player that was like playing running back, slot back. I think he had a couple quarterback, linebacker. Like he was a guy who was everywhere, and so this is now when I was like finished up with Colts, got into men because I was like, I still want to play. Like, body
Yeah.
feels good. I'm like I'm moving on with my other things in life. I definitely wanted to look at like maybe time for a different number because I was worth 30. I kind of got blessed with 30 when I
Yeah.
went to go play Colts because for being a first year player, especially to get like a rough number,
Oh yeah.
I remember like getting 30 in spring. I don't know why I picked 30. I think just I like the ring of it in
Oh
my
yeah.
head. I
Like,
think I know the why. The reason why I picked 30 because I believe in the Canadian football rules. It's a number that can play anywhere.
ooh.
It's a number that can play anywhere. I think by like not say limitations, but like I think that's the rule. I don't know.
Yeah, I have
I
no
just picked
idea.
it, but I'll let the refs answer that. But then I like that. And I was like, you know what? Let me go to 5 because I just liked 5 as like a just felt very versatile.
Oh
It's
yeah.
a very lucky number.
It's a good number.
It's a very good number. Not saying that like everything's off luck, but just like doesn't hurt having luck on your side.
True.
So that as well, along with just wanting to like make a little change up and do a single digit.
Okay.
I feel like I know 1's very popular.
Oh yeah.
2 is also very popular. 7 was at the time of Wolfpack taken by the legend.
Yeah.
we all know the legend. And then now it's taken 2. So I was like, you know what? Let me go 5. I was either gonna do 4 or 5, and at the time, Jabril Peppers was heating up, and like getting drafted. It's like, you know, I like his play style, I like what he's about. You know, if I can just be 5, cool. Let's rock from there. And so that's kind of what's kind of inspired me to do 5 and rock with that.
Yeah. It matches with Teach. Oddly enough.
Oh, you know, there's a story with that. I know what you said on the podcast where when Teach was going to come to Wolfpack for that, I guess, year he's going to play with us.
1 year.
The other 1 year, everyone was like, "Hey, Mario, you might need to get your number up," and I was like, "No." I'm like,
okay,
"Cool, he's coming." Yeah, no one's paying me. I know he offered chocolate brownies and everything, and I'm like, "Hey, bro, like I'm good. Like 5 is my number."
Yeah.
And he and it's funny now because at the time, like I knew about him, but I didn't get to know him. But I got to know him then.
Oh yeah.
And I know he was saying, "Hey man, I respect you for at least like keeping your number." And then now we have a podcast that covers the football league of the football in Alberta. But it's funny because now we're both 5s, and he's up on me in the podcast host matchup with 5 and 5s. He's up 2-0, so that's one thing that I need to try and even up here.
Get on it.
Yeah.
Are you in the playoffs though, or are you just
for
fantasy?
Fantasy, I'm in playoffs. Out of my 4 leagues I'm in 3 playoff brackets.
Okay, so you know what you're doing then.
Try. Yeah, I know. I feel like I know what I'm doing. Try different strategies, all those things. You try and pick the best. I know people like to take it as I guess their life, but the sweet spot. I have a few strategies, especially like beginning of the year, end of the year, middle of the year. Right now, I'll give a nugget for the end of the year. Right now, end of the year, there's always going to be those handful of players who have to play to their contracts.
Oh yeah.
So like one for right now is hot is like Mike Evans.
Yep.
He's trying to really hunt down 1,000 yards so that way he can say he's at 1,000 yards consecutively. Yep. And so that's like a intrinsic goal I know he's trying to hit. So anyone who is in fantasy who owns him, hey, that's a good pick or a good pickup to have in like last hunt. And if you can find anyone who's in like those contract year kind of battles, they're really going to go hard these last 4 games because they really want like their last tape to be really good. So when they go to their next team, they go. So they play well. They also take care of themselves, but as fantasy owners and fantasy GMs, we look good. True. There's my little nugget for fantasy owners.
Yeah, especially you, Nick. You definitely need it. Like 2-11.
Ooh.
Yeah, he just went down.
So that's tough.
I think he just quit. He's like, forget it. I'll wait till next year.
That is it a keeper league?
No.
No? So it's like you just redraft everybody and then no budgets to handle? No? If I find one league I'm in, you actually get to like manage the budget.
Okay.
Manage a budget, sign how many players you're going to keep to and all that. That's I find really enjoyable because I find you get to really get to be a GM at that point. Because you got to manage like what's my talent?
Yeah.
What would I sign him for? 3-4 year extension? What's my budget I got to play with? And then with that, how can I use to sign free agents? So it's really you get that really in depth field and taste of like what NFL GM would
Yeah.
feel.
It's funny because our league is actually called the X Wolfpack Therapy League. So everyone that's left the Wolfpack is like, all right, we're going to have our own league, and this could be it.
Oh man, that is hilarious.
We might change it up because I will get like a trophy or something.
Yeah.
I'd rather not have X Wolfpack Therapy.
Just man, if there's a therapist who's listening to this, hey, you might have a fresh group of clientele ready to go.
They're all over it. Anyways, next question. So, since you've been playing for years, on and off, what is the funniest moment you've had?
Funniest moment. There's been a couple. What this one was actually not most. I wouldn't say the most funny, but I think it was quite funny looking back at it.
At least what you remember.
Yeah, at least what I remember. So, with the Colts, my fifth year, we're in Regina, playing against Regina Thunder. We lose, shaking hands. No, actually, no, we're shaking hands on that one. It was on kickoff. Yeah, I remember running down, and then one of the guys I'm gonna give his nickname here. His nickname was Dimebag, because I think the reason why we say Dimebag because he wasn't like a big guy, but he would just absolutely hammer guys.
Oh, yeah.
And I think one of our coaches just said, "Man, you're just like, put dimes in a sock and you can just sock them." Like I think that's what we all know guys like that. I think that's what it wasn't. It stuck. We call him Dimebag, and I remember like, I remember right now kickoff return, whatever the special team was. I just remember him just like getting into it with this guy, and he absolutely just like steps on this guy's face. Now in the moment I'm like, oh no, like we're gonna get the penalty, like ran back. And I think we're either at a point where we're either in the game or just in the game or like just letting it get away from us. And I'm like, well, that's it. Now, of course, in the moment it wasn't that funny, but like look at the film. That bus ride back, we were just killing ourselves laughing. Like, or you actually stepped on that dude's face, like all that dude saw was just cleat.
Like,
cleat.
All right, just gonna take this for myself. I was gonna laugh when I'm down.
Yeah, so that was really I think that's a funny moment now, even now, because he plays in like the flag league that we played. It's just funny now because like we just look back at it, laugh at it, and like that's just like one of those moments too where like, man, that was like obviously like maybe not smart for the team in the moment, but like story wise, like football story wise, absolutely hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Great. So I think those are always fun. Yeah, I think that's really the funniest for me. Like, I'm trying to think what else. Nothing too scandalous. Actually, I got a funny one here. I remember.
Not even with the AFL.
Oh, maybe like there's a bus ride. I think was someone on a bus ride back from Fort Mac like was peeing on the door.
I was there for that one.
Yeah, I think you were there for that one. I was sleeping, but all I remember hearing was just like everyone woke up. So someone had to go pee, and then he just like ended up going on the door.
Yeah. And
I just remember like getting off the bus, being like, "Why is it wet? Like, did we like get off somewhere and everything?" But then I heard after practice, like, "Oh, like, someone peed on the door." I was like, "Oh,
no." That's why the pack can't have nice things anymore. Peeing on the buses.
Yeah, so I guess that's why we can't get buses no more.
Yeah, I'll sleep for that one too.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I am asleep.
Yeah, glad I'm asleep.
I can't be blamed.
I got one that's a little fun. That's quite funny, and maybe you might need to bleep it a bit, but
go ahead.
It's I remember one time my fifth year, a couple of us guys were hanging with a friend, my old roommate Dylan Schrott, played for Winnipeg Blue Bombers for I believe game preseason. I think I got drafted and I picked up and everything, hometown kid and everything. Best hands I've seen in the business, so like bet you those things are still rated number one.
Oh, yeah.
He was dating this girl. And we were hanging at her place one time after a game. Him, myself, our quarterback, we're all playing. I want to say this like B game or it's whatever game. Oh no, Cards Against Humanity.
Yep.
And one of the cards he got was Bukkake, and of course he didn't know. And so I just remember us all bursting out laughing, being like, was like, and he was like, "What's the Bukkake?"
Oh my
and
God.
we're just like killing ourselves laughing. And then I have the snap video of it too, where he's just like explaining to it, and he's like, "Oh, it's XYZ." For those of you that know, those of you don't know, Google it. And then all of us just kills us laughing. And I think for that week of practice, we were like edging him to say, "Hey, make it a audible." like make it an audible. Like just say it as an audible, please. And he didn't do it, but we thought it'd be hilarious to go to the line and just say it, just to see if the people throw people off. But it was just one of those like funny like off the field things.
He definitely should have.
We should have. I think I might if he comes up for flag, I might get him to do it again because I think it's a fun story that we like to look back on. There's always those stories that we like to look back on. That's like when I look back at like the football journey and the passion, like
Oh yeah.
those stories, those journeys, those connections with those guys, like that's forever. Like
Yeah, those moments. That's what I love about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's kind of where like in the AFL and the men's side where we get to enjoy it and have it longer.
Yeah.
Or like get to enjoy it more before like just say it's to move on, but like you can allow other parts of your life to come in and still have.
Yeah, I think you still go back to it because you still know those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So you still get together,
Mm-hmm.
have a drink, play a game or two.
Play a game or two.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Check the family. I know that's a big thing that like the Gators and are really built around. Is just like having those moments, and I know Kurt's done a great job building that culture. Even when they had their like hiatus,
Oh yeah,
like
they
almost,
still had it.
they still had that connection. Like it still shows. So they're a great example of it. And then I'm sure there's other teams too that have it.
Oh yeah, I guess in like Red Deer or
Red Deer, all the small teams,
Yeah,
small town teams do a good job of building that together.
yeah, that's perfect about it.
Yeah.
All right, next question. All right, so since I've met you with the Colts and the Pack, you've always been a running back.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, I've seen you play slot, the end.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. So what driven you to branch out from the RB position?
Personnel.
Personnel.
That's one thing with Wolfpack. There's
the
been some
tradition.
Yeah, there's been some moments where guys went down, guys didn't, guys weren't, guys missing spots, guys hurt.
Yes.
I always knew that I could make that. I think I played slot back my third year, so I guess this is when I know you were done. But my third year, I got moved to slot back and played some receiver. So I got a chance to learn some of the skill set there and everything. And it was I found slot back was quite enjoyable because like it was like, oh, I can like get the ball and then I can just be my running back, but I don't have to deal with the front seven to get by him.
Yeah, dealing with those big guys.
Yeah, so that was one thing which was quite nice. But then like taking that to Wolfpack, and like I think my third year, which was the COVID blend year, that was a year now where things were weird. This that I think actually when Marshall came in, so he was running back, and that was a year for me where I was on the road a lot. So like I literally was the guy who was showing up, playing just in the game and going. Now I don't thoroughly enjoy that because I do think like I do want to pay my respects to the game and like prepare for the game. Like there's that side of it too. So I think I just like, I'll go play slot and then like there's some slot there. And then I guess 2 years ago did deal at D end just because like one of our D ends got hurt. So I was like, hey, I'll just do it. Go like all I gotta do is beat the line, but use my reaction timing, beat the guy in front of me. Yeah. Influence the play. So a little bit everywhere. I know last season I played, I think corner too. Like I think for that Gators game, I was literally playing everywhere. I was like, because that Gators game against you guys, it was quarterback, running back, bit of full, and then on defense side corner because I think we had a guy go down. I was like, yeah, I'll go cover Ben. Like it was coming to the end of the half, and then like Ben had this absolute snag on the sideline where I'm like, I remember like leading. I'm like, hey, this thing's out, and I just see Ben just
what he does.
I'm like, man, I was like, damn, that's nice. Luckily the clock ran out, so you didn't like high top me. And linebacker, I didn't play any DM, but I just knew like it was one of those games where like I was playing all over. But
do you enjoy the end and linebacker?
I do. I enjoy the variation. So I've always felt like if I'm someone down to where if I can be playing in different spots, I can. There's like a setup to it to where I feel like I can do enough. I'm athletic enough to like move around, but as well preparation wise, I feel like if I'm being quite mobile, there's more time either not being spent on me or maybe if someone knows being spent on me to then prepare, which I feel like I can use to my advantage because there's always that chest matching part of the game where it's a matter of, if like you're studying this one person, one spot, like you're learning all their moves, cool, but then he's over here, then over here, and like he's all over the spot, all over the place. That really helps in setting things up. So I've enjoyed the variation lately, especially just being that especially just being this part of the game where
Yeah, like
something new, mix it up. You get to
Yeah.
have fun with it. Like,
Because remember the one year I played against the Irish, I played D tackle.
Mhm.
Like I am undersized for this, but forget. I'm just gonna go out there and do
yeah.
it. And I remember one play I got double teamed.
Mhm.
Like this is pointless. I was telling the guys, I'm like, you can let go. I'm like, I can't beat you both, let alone one guy. Then like when that gap opens, like, oh, this is perfect.
yeah.
Yeah. But I know what you're talking about.
It's nice. It's nice to play. There's nice variation, especially because I feel like as a kid you always be like, oh, like, I can play this coach and that coach, and like
Yeah.
obviously you have the numbers. Like everyone has a position, but like when you're in a team where say you don't have the numbers, you get to play around. You get to like, I feel like there's always like a part where your inner kid gets to like come out and like have that fun, like check that off. Like,
oh yeah, of course.
I take it you probably have those moments where like you gotta get to buy something cool, or you get to like do something where you're like, hey, like my 8-year-old, my 12-year-old, my 13-year-old self would like really like this.
Yeah. I had that moment with I think it was my second year. I had to play quarterback for like in total a full game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, oh, this is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get to do all with the pack since we don't have plays.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, we do, but you just kind of do it yourself.
Yeah.
No one's telling you, hey, we're doing this play. Get to be your own coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, I got this. It's a lot of fun. I wouldn't mind doing that again.
So you're saying if you're ready to come back, you need to be quarterback in your own playbook?
It would have to be quarterback.
Quarterback? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see what.
Darryl has to retire.
I don't think he's retiring. I don't think he's retiring. I don't think he's retiring.
No, it's going to be. He'll probably play for like at least like 100.
I say at least another 4 more years.
Yeah.
At least.
Or until his son makes the Stanley Cup final.
Maybe.
Depending on the Ducks.
Maybe. His son's nice at football too.
Yeah.
His son Brett. I remember my second year when I was helping out Coach Pee Wee's. Mm-hmm. This is like when I was in high school and helping out coaching. His son was out, and his son was like donning up and everything. But like, jeez. I knew a bit about Darryl, like playing Wolfpack, because like Darryl mentioned like, oh, I play men still and everything, and like give a story, but I never got to see him play. But then like seeing how his son played and how his son was like dotting everybody up. Yeah. His son would literally dot everybody up, then run it and dot him. Like I was like, oh damn, like. Yeah. Like damn, like if his kid's nice, like Darryl must be nice too. And then a few years later, I figure out like okay, like Darryl's still just as nice. Yeah. Must be in the bloodline somewhere.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Jeez. So it's it's a rich. The football genes are strong there.
Yeah. Okay. All right, next question. All right. So speaking of the past, now if you could give advice to your younger self, what would it be? Could be anything, life, football.
You're better than you think you are. I think that'd be the one thing I'd say to myself. My past self, just to like take off the pressure of playing, take off the pressure of like being in my head so much.
Oh yeah.
Because I think that's one thing now where like that's the one thing now where I feel like I've gotten so many reps just playing men's like. Stress and the butterflies have like really calmed down. Like I get the butterflies, of course, the first game and everything. Like getting back into context, it's like that. That's where I know, like, oh yeah, like I still have that hunger for this.
Oh yeah.
But definitely something which, I think if I was to my younger self, it would alleviate a lot of stress and maybe a bit more freedom just to like.
Oh yeah, especially when you're playing, so tense.
Yeah. Especially
to not screw up.
Yeah, not screw up and everything in front of coaches who are, dictating a lot of stuff for you and everything, like just to be free. Because I feel like I've definitely had more opportunity to play more freely in the AFL just with how the structure is here. And like, I'm just like, man, like even if it's just like one of those things where like being that free is just so in that flow state, which I know as athletes we always try and get back into and everything or reach. That's untouched, and it's unfortunate it took me this long to realize that. But of course, if I could take that and bring that back to the 18, 16, maybe even that, like my 11-year-old self or my 12, 13-year-old self that was being influenced by my influences. Yeah, like man, like we're gonna be now. Yeah. Sure, differently, but that's the beauty of life, where you get to experience it now, and I get to now carry that forward. So
Yeah.
this is now where I feel like I just gotta try and not say stretch out how much longer I can be athletically, but just to enjoy those moments of being free, because you don't know how long it's gonna last.
Yeah.
Which is the tough part, but also it's the expecting part. But
Yeah.
all the workouts, all that stuff, you just do it to try and extend.
At least the fun part about it is after you're done playing, there's still more you can give.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giving back to the social media and everything. I know that's been a couple of endeavors I've tried to start up with the league and the our podcast show, and myself personally for business, just with the content I put out. But it's definitely one thing which no, it's good.
Yeah, definitely helps you grow. Yeah, especially for me, someone who doesn't speak. I'm like, all right, let's get in front of the camera and actually talk to people.
The camera, as we know with game film, the camera doesn't lie.
True. It's funny because I could probably go out to like a full crowd, play my game perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Speaking for like a crowd of like 10 people, I'm like, oh god, like, don't screw this up. It is funny that way.
It is, and like I bet like watch like after episode 5 of you doing this, you'll find like everything's gonna be way more smoother.
Oh,
you can improvise, like all those variables that your brain just like builds for yourself will just disappear.
Oh yeah.
So it's definitely a great personal development. It's funny. It's funny like the back of these phones are the personal development side versus the front side is all influencing or getting influenced.
Yeah. That's why I started making videos too.
Yeah.
Like I started doing TikToks and other stuff like that, just to gain my confidence. And now I'm here. Barely talking without stumbling my words constantly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, that's the huge growth there. And then watch everything where like you'll be able to like get into that flow state.
Oh yeah.
With this. Not saying I'm not sure if you're in that now, or I'm not sure how you're feeling it, but like I can only imagine when like you get to bring that flow state over to like other endeavors. It's just like I think that's where that sweet spot is, where you can get to that Joe Rogan level.
Oh yeah.
Right. That's the goal here. We're gonna try to get that Joe Rogan money.
Of course. With less controversy. I'll keep my bullies kind of tucked away. Anyways, all right. So podcaster, financial guru, loving husband.
Yeah. Husband part. I gotta get a ring on it soon. So that's
all right. Well, let's say husband anyway.
Yeah.
And loving father. So, what else would you add to that title? Would you like to add to that title?
It's a good time. I've always had this issue where I always say yes to things.
Yeah.
I always say yes to a bunch of different things. Like for myself, like for those who don't know, like I work in finance and as well in real estate. So those two are definitely two endeavors where they cooperate well with each other. Where I can bring them together, help clients on both sides. That's been a huge part of what I've done. And now having my son Arden, he's now. I knew it was coming because I would hear it from other people, but my capacity to do things has grown. But as well with that, doesn't mean I should take things on. So if anything, now I just want to become more efficient and like and like doing things that let's say expand the amount of volume I can give to each one.
Okay.
Because I always find that like it's easy for me to add stuff on. Like I could add on like that's one thing now this year I've had to like know what I need to like prioritize and then like cut everything else out, which has led to me, social life not maybe being the best or like missing some workouts here and there, but like there's certain things.
Kids first.
Yeah. Kids first, family first. Kid and my wife always go up and down. Like it's always a matter of like
one or the other.
One or the other. Like like I know the saying is like I picked her and I made you, and it's a matter of like trying to do what's do what's best, and
it is like
do his best, and then obviously work is I come from that belief of like I want to be a provider. I want to provide the life for them and everything. So like just trying to make sure like hey everything's moving well, moving smooth, going through business, the turbulences, the seasons of the ups and downs. But I definitely feel like if anything, if I had to add something, maybe celebrity.
Yeah.
No, but
Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Y. My
And
nickname,
what?
my nickname with my friend Rob and everything. They say they say my nickname is Mr. Worldwide, just because I do everything, but
Yeah.
I've had to learn to
Take that back.
cut that back because it's if I do too much and I can't do everything. So that's one thing now we're about to just limit what I do. So it's to, I guess, politically answer your question. I can't. I'd say I don't know what I would want to add on, but I want to make sure I can do more in what I have on my plate.
Okay.
So
Good to me there.
yeah, it's
good to say no to things.
Good to say no to things. I know one thing that's been added on my plate I want is like to do more of a bigger role in the AFL, like on the actual league role.
Be the face of the league.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
AFL, Omari.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But
well, I gotta say, you and Tej are pretty much the face of the league because of the podcast. Because in terms of like outsiders, like, all right, who do you know? Not much besides you and Tej.
Yeah, because I think that's
unofficially
unofficially the face of the league. Because this is now with our podcast, we try and like shine more light on it, the happenings, all that good stuff there. And I know I have my perspective. I'm really trying to bring a lot of like we're all doing collaboration. Like there is like a product here that we can bring out and like show. I know Teague has he brings a very interesting perspective because he has a lot of history of like being on the board on like the actual runnings of it, like way more history, like I think double the history I have of the league. So this is an hour I think we do a great job balancing each other of like what we need to do. I know he has some spicy takes when it comes to Edmonton.
The old man, then the young buck.
How old
is Teach?
I don't know, but he does. I don't count him as old because like dude's like I think he's played. I know he's played longer than me in the league. But like I consider him like like we're about the same like
old for the league
playing old for the league, but like I don't consider Teague like old in the sense where like always like old man like no he like flies around. I know he prides himself as well on being like being young at heart and everything like I don't honestly I think on like early 30s he might laugh at that, he might be like I'm not right put up, but it doesn't matter. But like he plays with his heart on his sleeve, and like we see it. So I don't actually know his age. I should probably know his age if we're running a podcast together. But it's fine.
There's people I worked with for like years, and like I have no idea how old they are.
Yeah.
Like I know. I don't really care. Just show up to work.
Yeah, show up to work. Take care of your body.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. I know he does a good job taking care of his body, which goes to show. So he might need to he might be the Tom Brady of our league, where it's just like.
True.
He might be like 40, but literally early 30s. Could be avocado ice cream. Could be the brownies he makes. I don't know. You never know. It's reverse time.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, what's up, Don?
Are you in me?
I can tell with your shoes.
Oh, he knows you too well. Anyways, we can. Yeah, we're actually doing something. Anyways, for the next question, actually, since you're a financial guru, would it be a wise investment to bet all my life savings on the Ravens to win the Super Bowl? Gonna say 1,000-1.
1,001.
I know what's Omar.
I mean, it's just funny because like. I've just started to get into sports betting.
Oh, it's a deadly path.
It's deadly, but I have a rule for myself. I don't bet anything higher than the minimum. So on bet 365, it's 20 cents.
Okay.
So I've only bet 20 cents. So basically taking $10 and it's lasting me the entire NFL season this year.
Okay.
Just because that's like, I don't know, it's one of those things where like I want to before I fully like put like real money into it and like all that, I want to like understand like how each thing works and like. The multipliers, the props, all that stuff. Like, cause I find parlays. I find they don't give you like a definition, like an ebook on like, hey, like this is what this means. Like, they obviously want you to be uneducated going in, because obviously that leads to more money going to them. So before I even like, really do that, but like I mean like maybe not your whole life savings, maybe like 5%, 10%, sure. maybe like taking a portion of your income and do it. But like, I don't know, if you want to,
I'll start with $2.
yeah, start with $2. Add a couple parlays on it. Maybe make it to where like Ravens, and then this is now what I've been learning. Where like do like Ravens will win, and in that game maybe Lamar will do 2 touchdowns, rushing, da 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 da, and then you make your $2, $2,000, something like that. Safer bet.
Or I'm not just like out on the street.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Last $2, come on.
It hits. So yeah, we're back in the game.
Yeah. Most likely back in the hole again.
Yeah. I always find this video is funny where it has like people who are like, "Oh, do you have your down payment?" Yeah. Well, tonight. What tonight? Oh, I have put money on this game. This game is gonna hit. I'll see them. I'll send them wire the money over. And you're just like, damn. Now.
Or that feeling when that last parlay doesn't hit.
Yeah, and then they don't give you the cash out option.
Oh, those are the worst. I remember it was during one of the flag football games.
Mm-hmm.
So I was filming, and I also had like a parlay bet going on.
Yeah.
So I'm like going back and forth, like, all right, I'm cashing out.
Yeah.
Like I got my $40. Luckily I did because like LSU just hit the bet on that one.
Oh yeah.
Like, it was a lot of fun, and I'm like losing all my money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I can see the dangers of this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
don't bet your life savings.
Yeah, don't bet your life savings. If I had to give any advice, I'd say if you're over 18, start a tax-free savings account. Have it be something that's invested. Don't have it sit there just in cash or just getting like low interest just because you want it to work for you. Have your risk be assessed. Get proper insurance, life critical, especially if you have kids. That's a big thing that I always say. Say for the kids. Start small, grow it from there. I think that's the biggest thing. I think that's just starting. My biggest thing whenever I meet with people is I just say, hey, like, what's your savings habit look like? Because I guess I want to buy this house, cool, but like we need to save the down payment. We need to prove income. We need to do all these things to get ready for the home. So this is now where let's bit by bit work our way towards it, because there's also going to be an identity shift of like, I'm not a saver to like, I've saved a lot, or I've saved this portion. Wow, I didn't think I could do that. Yeah. And it just changes their whole trajectory. So it's kind of like my, I guess, pro financial tips outside of betting. And if you're going to bet,
great advice.
Bet your bet something reasonable, like go take bottles, go get a return on that, then put that in Bet 365 and then use that to play with. There. Then somebody make the bigger bets with house money, which is money that you've won, and then once it clears your amount that you put in as house money, then you can do what you want with that. Yeah. Because then that's unrealized gains, which you can then just do within the app. Now, do I see these people ripping off big parlays and like have them hit? I'm like, yeah, and I'm jealous. And I'm like, shit, I want that to work for me, but
you think you know
until but I mean, take it step by step.
So I'm not betting on the Ravens.
You can bet on them.
I don't trust Lamar yet. All right, next one. So as an athlete, we all go through ups and downs in our careers. Do you have an event that you can kind of learn from? Kind of like, I won't say the worst moment of your life, but like it really hit you in the gut. Can you like elaborate on it if you can?
Yeah, of course.
Learn from it?
Yeah, so my first year of Colts going in, this is now where playing Colts, we had our practice schedule. It was like four to 5 times a week. On top of that, I was doing it into school. I did a 5-year. I did five courses, and like trying to balance the both of them, like it was just way too much. A lot on my plate. Didn't do well. Got on academic probation, so I was failing on that side. And like I was a scout team. It was my first year playing, so I'm not saying anything wrong about that. But like I just knew like things just weren't coming together, working as it should. So I need to work myself out of this. So funny enough, like it was a case where once I finished that year of school, that's when I was in that window of like, you know what, I just need to focus on one thing and one thing only. I know my parents wanted me to stay in school and finish that, but I actually said, hey, I'm going to put a pause in school for 1 year. I'm going to give football my second year just all out, everything. Get a job, all that. I'm just going to focus on football. But just realizing that moment of just being like, okay, like things aren't working, football's not going well. Oh, like life is just coming together. not working as much as I should be to pay my bills. Luckily, I was living at home, so like really have to pay for gas, but like just things just weren't working. But just what helped me get out of it was just like picking one thing and moving on with it.
Oh yeah, right.
Picking one thing, and at the time it was just like, hey, just get this passion like level of like I just want to do football. Just work that out, like work out every day, go run routes, just get in shape, just like do everything I could to like fulfill that like, hey, I did try hit this goal, which I believe when I was 19 was like trying to like, hey, I want to play professional. I want to like do these great things in football, like get recognized as, but you know, that wasn't the store for me. But I like what I got out of it to where like got great work ethic out of it.
Oh yeah.
Pulled myself out of the academic probation once I was out, and like I even moved out during that time with my roommate Dylan Shaw at that time, and like that was like a good window of just where like I just got to be so structured in how I was doing things. Where I was like, hey, I'm going to be at work these 3 days. I'm going to be at school these 2 days, full days. I'm going to have a chance to work out. I just literally ran that schedule for the year, which it was good because it was a complete shift of like being young and 18 and not having things work out to then being 20 and like, hey, things are now better and like I've gained control or my capacities to change. So that was a good life lessons for me. And
so once you hit school, it was easier just to handle all of it.
Yeah. And like that was one for me, and like good opportunity for growth. That's why I got to learn about myself too, because I know when you're young and you're 18 and everything, and you're told everything, you get to have everything sorted out. But you honestly don't. You just figure it out as you go. That's kind of definitely one thing. Now, even when I was doing coaching a lot more, like trying to tell athletes, like, hey, like you might not have everything figured out. Like you're going to be told you need to, but you probably won't. You'll figure it out on the go. But keep as many doors as you can open, and then you'll learn about yourself. Especially if you're someone who's going to be on your own. I found like that first moment just being such a, oh, like, this is what I'm on. This is what I'm at. This is what I am doing. This is what I do, or like this is easy for me to stick to. This is what it's doing for me. So I found that really being something that helped, or like that was the moment that was tough. That's how I got out of it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So you young guys, take his advice. Well, not really advice, but take a story and you can still learn from it too.
Yeah, it's a good story too, just to just have it be something where like
you
balance it out, like cut things down, pick on one, and add in what you can, and
so you're not running yourself into the ground.
Yeah, because again, that's the issue I have where I would always say yes to everything. So I was like, oh, I'll do this, do that, and like,
by the end of the day, you have like nothing left.
Nothing for yourself. So just one thing that really did myself well, I think too. Like,
okay,
good times. It's a fun times to think back at. Because they're all good questions. You'd be really good at this.
See, that's what happens when I'm at work and just in a box for like 7 hours. Like, all right, I got all these ideas, I got all these questions. Anyways, something lighter now. Game day. You're at home. What is your routine to get ready for kickoff?
My routine this year changed, kind of the son, because he's now the variable that changes it. Because he's now the variable. But I'll give you my pregame.
Let's do dad version and pre-dad.
Pre-dad. Sleep in till I naturally wake up. Naturally wake up. Depending on the game. So if it was like, nice thing with Wolfpack, it's always been like later games. So I would get a bigger breakfast in, small lunch, and then I would like plan to eat after the game. If I find it's more about like managing the fuel, so like trying to do very little stuff. Light workout. I love to do like resistant bands, iso holds, just to like fire the body up. I really felt for that. That's been stuff that's always been treating me well, just to like prime the body.
Xavier does that. Not the band, but he like go for runs. For a game.
Well, because it's something that you do to still keep your body like in the habit, like because it's one thing to where like, your body knows like, oh, like you go for running, you're active, or like you should keep your body in those same states of what you're already doing. It's just more familiarity for it to like process out like, I'm going to demand a lot from you down the road. We're like, hey, like you've been demanding a lot from me from these workouts. So it's just a regular thing to keep.
Okay.
For me, just the fuel wise,
That's the opposite.
yeah, it helps.
I'd be like, all right, stretch, go, game. After game, like,
because it's and like because it's. I remember I've had a. I don't want to say I've had moments where like I felt like something was off.
Yeah.
And where it was off was my hydration.
uh,
That's one thing now too. So I remember what I kind of do now, and like the last 2 years I've been doing is where I'll really try to emphasize like, hey, hydration starts Wednesday.
Yep.
You get water in, and then maybe that Thursday, Friday, I'll drink coconut water before. I don't drink. I try to drink it game day because your coconut water is so high in potassium, you need it to like into the bloodstream and like
okay.
and like actually be like ready to be absorbed in the muscles. Versus if you have it day of, stays in your stomach, stays in your gut, like it's not in the muscles where it needs to be.
Yep. Okay.
So I like to have it a couple days before and then just water throughout. But like, really like to ensure my hydration really starts like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and that time my Thursday, Friday are really like carrying me to Saturday. So that's like my pre-game hydration. Once I can check that off, I know I'm good because then I can at least perform. Because I've had some games where I've like chugged it before, I felt bloated. Like I felt bloated, and I was like, I just don't feel like explosive or zingy. Like it takes me a while. Like I remember there was like a couple times on kickoff where like you're running down, I'm like I just don't feel as sharp.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
As sharp
just,
and
like,
then like
sluggish the whole time.
Yeah, and I think actually this year too, both these guys make great plays. Both these guys make great plays. Both like on the opening game against Cold Lake, running down. Derek's coming down, and then I see him, and I go to the attack, and I just feel like standing on my feet and everything. But he's lightning fast. I'm not taking anything. I'm not taking away from anything from his play, but he's lightning fast. But like, I felt for me personally, like man, I wasn't in like a state to like make that play that I should have made. But he's lightning fast and everything. But that's akin to where I kind of rushed.
Okay.
Rushed hydration, fell off, and it took me a bit to get going because that's now where I find like if I can accelerate that bit to get going in the game, then I'm good to go.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like a game where that really showed through was the game where we had like the double overtime with like Grand Prairie 2 years ago in playoffs.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
That one was now where like everything hit perfectly. Yeah. Everything was good. Like we were playing like you play your regular 60 minutes, 40 minutes. 40 minutes for us, right? Yeah, 40. But then you have to add on like 4 more quarters of it. Like that's when I was like, okay, like my hydration game was on point. Yeah. I was good. I was down the field most of the game too. Like I remember at the end, like Shaver and Becker and Marsh came off. Like, how you feeling? I'm like, bro, I'm tired, but like I feel good because I was like, man, I was able to play like a whole other game. And the hydration carried me. So like that's now an example where it really came through, but
it didn't affect your play too much.
Yeah, but that's now where if I can really lock in on that, I can hit the game running versus we just and go. So that's kind of where my pre-game has been at. But dad version, single version, or I guess
it's still the same, but just with a kid there.
yeah, pretty much. If anything, actually, wake up time is now is now 5 or 6 a.m. That was 5 or 6 a.m. and bedtime is different. So trying to do it off less sleep, which hydration is going to be the key. That and fuel, but I mean that's now another dynamic is having him at the games. He wasn't there this year because all the games were later. But it's always really cool having like your kids see you play.
I've seen it in like all the games I've been in. Just the families come out and watching their dads play. Yeah, it's pretty great.
Because it's a great time, a great moment. Just with how everything can be lined up and how everything can. Just like I feel like, especially as a dad too, like as a dad you get caught in this I don't say trap, but like you do everything, and then you know you're dad. Yeah. Right. But like I remember Joe Flacco said this where he's like, no, I like Joe Flacco was saying this when he was playing with the Browns. Yeah. He had that like stuff where he was like lining up, and his kids were like, Dad, I didn't think you were this guy. Yeah. Right. And I think that's as a dad, it's always important to like show your kids like, oh no, I can be that guy, but you see me as dad, but like, no, I can always flick the switch. And so like, that's one thing too, where like, I think it's so important to have your kids see that like, hey, like I can be dad, I can be fun, like serious when we need to be, but like
understand that can be a whole different animal than
right. Hit that field,
hit that ring, hit that match, whatever it is that you do as a dad, like to show your kids. I think it's like a different level of respect of like, okay, like our dad's nice, but like he can.
Yeah, he has that dog.
He has that dog in him still, which I feel like is huge. And I think one guy that one guy that's like I think really employs that, and I got to see him play now was Don Scott, linebacker for you guys, right?
Oh yeah.
Because he's the guy now where I'm like, this is again from what I can see from the outside in, you know, family man, raising the family, everything. I think he played 2017 and like previously had the gap and everything, so he got to be that dad, but then like flick that script and like have his kids see him now. Like I think that's a really cool.
The same with her and Oren.
Yeah. So I think that's really cool aspects to see, and I'm like, man, like that's definitely something which, you know, if I get an opportunity to do that, cool. If not, that's cool. But
and the beauty is
it's a different vibe with the kids there.
They'll bring their kids to like practice and stuff, have them involved. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because even with Don, his son, I know I had his son on the podcast.
Yeah.
Lucas Scott and everything, like he lights up too, like tearing up too. So I think it's always cool like to see that dynamic.
Yeah.
And like that's definitely something where like, especially when I see myself as a role as a father for Arden and everything, like that's definitely like positive influences. And I do want to thank the AFL for like those moments too, because I think being a young man coming into a men's league, you think of like, oh, I'm gonna like go circles around these guys. But there's moments where you get to see how these guys act, and you know they can still be the dog in the field, but like how they can like also be the father off the field. And it's really cool to have like maybe not role models, but like see it and know like, hey, like that chapter's coming for you soon, but you get a preview of it. From these guys.
Yeah, and if you ever need help, you can always go to your teammates who are older.
They're older, been through it. In that nice chapter was coming, because you know, I imagine most guys in the league who are single and all that, like eventually they'll have kids or a family, whatever, and it's nice to like have references or reference points of like, hey, this is how this teammate did it, and like, his family turned down and all that. So I think it's really cool.
Or we see the chaos of one teammate, you're like,
I'm gonna avoid that. I'm gonna avoid that. I'm gonna avoid that. Okay, don't do this, don't do that. Cool.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing which I think our league is again so powerful and showing, and is more than just like a men's league. It's like it can be like a what I like.
Really all walks of life. So when starting out, just being an adult, as grown men.
Yeah. To mentor.
Struggling to get off the couch.
Get off the couch. You're like, oh, I'm so tired, and you got like a dad who's like, I just went to work, dropped the kids off at practice. We're at practice right now. Going to pick up dinner, make dinner, do homework. Like, you just all those excuses are just like your level of capacity raises, which was always interesting.
It's another level of commitment.
Yeah.
All right, this is gonna be probably a short answer, but of course you've been in the league for a while. What is the one team you despise?
Despise? I can say for my early years. Right now, I don't think I despise anybody. In my early years, 2018, 2019, the Bucks. The Bucks, because they were a team now at the time, the 2018, 2019 Bucks. They were just so they were a dominant team. They matched up well with Wolfpack. We had some good games, and I felt like, especially when I was like, I felt like I had a good game against everybody, but like that was a team where I was like, I felt like they would shut me down. I was like, okay, why is that? I'd watch the film, study the film, and all that, and then like had the regular season game, had a postseason game the first year, and I was like, man, like I don't know what it is, but they just put eyes on me. Maybe they doubled me. I don't know what it was, but like it was just like a game where I was like, man, like I wouldn't say I hate them, but I was like, yeah, I need to make sure I bring in this game. And it was finally in the championship game in 2019 where I was able to finally like not say break free, but like kind of like put that to
get over it.
Get over with it.
Okay. So no real grudges.
No real grudges, but just like I had a game where like finally I acted like showed what I can do to this team and everything, because it was a game back and forth. You know, we were up, they were down. I had a fumble. I really fumble. Make sure I'm not going for that.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
going
coming
here.
up.
But it was just a game of just like constant back and forth. So,
Oh, yeah.
that was definitely one thing which it was nice to like get that game out of the way.
Okay.
From there, because I feel like that's one thing we always want to compete.
Yeah.
But if you're like competing against guys where you're just not winning the most, you're like, man, I need to prove it. I need to like
Bugs, yeah.
just bugs you. So
Oh,
it
that's
was
nice.
it was nice to have that game where I can break that. And then I think for 1 year, I think the very first year the Edmonton Elite, when they were out, they were a very competitive team, and like I didn't have to be game against them. So like, they were like about to take that role, but then like things just didn't. I don't have the spice to set up my
I'll say
podcast.
Edmonton Elite every year. Good and
yeah, but
hopefully they turn it around.
They turn around. Like I think they had different points. Like Edmonton, I think Edmonton Elite's by the next closest. You know, they always compete well and everything, and that's a game. I think that's like a team now where like I need to have a breakout game against them to like, show what I can do, because they both had. I think it's been a good year where like 2020, 21, they're a really solid team, really solid defense. I didn't do much against them. I don't remember much for 2022. I have to look at the film and see. But then 2024, this year, they had a really solid defense. I didn't do much against them either, but like it's one of those things now where I head into 2025. Definitely want to make sure I put in the work to try and like have that breakout game with them. But and then just competing, having fun, playing football. I don't hate anybody. Like I played enough too, where I feel like there's no need to have hate, because like
some guys just hold on to that.
Hold on to it. But like, we're playing football. Past we're one of the few generations that get to keep playing football.
Okay.
This is fun. Like I'll still have a beer with anyone after them, and like have fun with them. Try and sell my house. Only gonna plug myself.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Just in the pile. Here's my card.
Here's my card, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, speaking of 2025, all right, your mentality going to it.
Mentality is gonna be now where, kind of how I'm treating this year is where, with how things ended with Wolfpack, and how I've seen how the league shift, like nice and the league is expanding. We're seeing new teams. Every team is upgrading, which is awesome to see. Obviously, that's something I want to see in the Wolfpack, but I also get to see now what the family desires need to be. So, like, if the family wants to travel more, my role needs to be in that space.
Oh, yeah.
One day your mic died.
Shit.
And this one, too.
Well, at least we know the limit of it. We'll probably get the audio from the...
Yeah, so I'll speak to them.
I'll just turn it up on... Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll just get it from the phone and just...
Yeah, just up it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
short and sweet.
Short and sweet. I would say it would be the... just seeing what teams like doing the most. I haven't released anywhere. I haven't been released from Wolfpack. I haven't signed anywhere. I'm really just trying to see now, what would be the best. I need to figure out what's going to be the best fit for the family.
Yeah.
For me now is just continuing to, I understand that I'm on the later half of my career. So hey, do all the things right, treat your body right.
Yeah.
Squeeze out those last not say squeeze out, but like be able to play out those last few years the way I want.
Yeah. Get that next ring.
Yeah, next ring, that's definitely one thing I want to get. I have this goal of trying to get 3. Got 1s right now. We need to hunt down 2.
Yeah.
That's definitely a decision now where I'm like, do I go somewhere where I can build up a team to get a ring, or go to a team that's going to work to get a ring and like playing those dynamics? Is that saying I'm going to go to the Gators? You never know, but it's a case now where we're just trying to see now what we're doing, and like I'm really looking at seeing what teams are doing right now in the off season to then make that call. So as it goes right now, like what do they call, like a restricted free agent? So I'm still signed to a team, but I still look out. Is that what it is? Yeah. I'm a restricted free agent, so I'm looking forward to trying all the winter workouts and just seeing what teams offer and go from there. Like I know I play with the Wolfpack, and
you got that loyalty.
You got my loyalty there, but it's always one thing where I do need to look at, like, all right, how many years do I have left? Reasonably, family years as well, because like if things are the family side are like, hey, we need you home more, like we want to do these things more, like you can only really play 2 games, 3 games, 4 games.
Yeah, just home games.
Yeah, or home games. So like we'll have to assess that.
Okay.
And I think everyone goes to that assessment, but it's always a case of like, okay, we'll see. So,
Okay.
but
Awesome.
it's I guess I'm a restricted free agent who I've not released from the Wolfpack, but is exploring options.
Yeah.
Whatever Terrell Owens did, like I know there's gonna be some workout clips mixed in, so
Oh yeah.
you'll see. Maybe I should have some
Your
curls.
driveway.
Yeah, the driveway. I should have done some curls to
Yeah.
emulate the driveway scene.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
So,
All right. Awesome.
but,
Thank you, Omari.
I don't know. It's pretty appreciate you having me. It was great to, chat about more of the journey and everything, and I appreciate you having me on, and especially as the first guest. I feel honored.
Yeah, thanks for being the first guest for the first episode.
Yeah. Thanks.
With that being said, with being Christmas and all, I got a few things for you.
Oh,
So, got you a deck of Pokemon cards
a deck of Pokemon.
and these cool shades.
All right, thank you. That's so funny. You know what's funny? Did you ever used to play Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah.
I found my my old Yu-Gi-Oh set.
I can just put those on.
I found my old Yu-Gi-Oh set, and I looked at it. I got like Blue Eye Shining Dragon, Red Eye Darkness Dragon, and I'm just like, man, like these are sick. And I'm like, I told me like, hey, I'm keeping these because I'm like gonna show Arden.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show her like, myself like, all right, this is how it works. Like I'm gonna give him the rundown because I feel like being like grade 2, grade 3, like that was the best thing ever.
Oh yeah.
Especially now. I also figured out that some of them have like some like weight to them.
Oh yeah.
Like,
You can get a lot of money for it.
Like
Especially the old school ones.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like, I have like the first edition like Dark Magician.
Yep.
So that's like 1 hour. I'm like that goes for like $500. I'm like damn. Like do I sell it? And I'm like no. But there's like
just keep them out.
I'm gonna keep them. But there's like 3 of them that I would sell. I think together they would be over 1,000. So I'm like damn. It's pretty nice. So like
Perfect.
that's crazy to think that they go up in value like that. So that's kind of cool. So.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
That's awesome. But yeah, I think it'd be fun to show them Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's quite.
Anyways, thank you, Mari.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode whenever I get the next guest. I do have someone in mind, but he's being a little lazy. Schedules, So stay
Make
tuned.
time. Make
Yeah.
time. Increase your capacity.
Exactly. So stay tuned. Hit that like button, subscribe, and thank you for watching.